Las Vegas Raiders rookie wide receiver Jack Beck is making a strong impression during off-season workouts. A couple of weeks ago, reports emerged that Beck stood out at rookie minicamp, and now he's reportedly continuing that momentum at OTAs. Beck has been consistently getting open in practice, and that's not just against other rookies anymore. He's showing out even against veterans. According to Tashan Reed, Beck's best plays came during 11-on-11 drills, where he hauled in multiple deep passes that could have gone for touchdowns. If he keeps performing at this level, he could be in the mix for a starting role as early as Week 1. While it's unclear whether he's lining up outside or in the slot, or if he's facing first-string defenders or backups, the key takeaway is that he's flashing serious potential. Even though these early sessions don't include pads, Beck is standing out, and that's worth noting. This is great news for a Raiders offense that desperately needed a spark after a rough 2023 season. The team cycled through 3 different quarterbacks and struggled across the board. The offensive line was inexperienced, and the run game was ineffective, often setting the offense back on early downs and creating tough third-down situations. Las Vegas made some critical offseason upgrades. The addition of Ashton Jeanty, a highly touted running back prospect, adds explosiveness. Upgrading the quarterback spot with Geno Smith brings experience and leadership. And now, if Beck continues to develop, the receiving corps might have found a key new weapon. The Raiders' offensive struggles last season were well documented, from inconsistent quarterback play to issues with protection and a lack of separation from receivers. But with the offseason moves and young talent stepping up, the outlook for this unit looks a whole lot more promising heading into 2025. The Las Vegas Raiders offensive line is shaping up to be much improved heading into the 2025 season. Jackson Powers-Johnson and DJ Glaze are both entering their second year, and with the addition of new talent through the draft, the group looks significantly stronger. While you typically don't want to rely heavily on rookies, the offensive guard position is one area where first-year players can step in and make an immediate impact, and the Raiders may have just that. Another major storyline is wide receiver Jack Beck, who continues to draw attention at OTAs. Based on how he's performing, there's a real possibility he could emerge as the team's top wideout by midseason. That's no slight to Jakobi Meyers, a reliable veteran, but Beck appears to have the potential to be a game-changing playmaker, a true number 1 receiver who can win matchups across the field. These offensive improvements go beyond just Beck. The team also added Brock Bowers, one of the top tight end prospects in recent memory, and Ashton Jeanty, a dynamic running back with elite upside. Together, this group could turn the Raiders into one of the league's most exciting and high-scoring offenses. With Geno Smith now at quarterback and better coaching in place, it's not far-fetched to think the Raiders could crack the top 10 in scoring, with multiple games over 30 or even 40 points. That kind of optimism was hard to come by last season. Under previous offensive coordinator Luke Getsy, the unit struggled badly, but now the Raiders are in a much better spot. Stronger up front, more explosive at the skill positions, and more stable at quarterback. Beck's rise has been one of the most exciting developments so far. Multiple reporters, including Tashan Reed, have noted that he's consistently making plays in practice and standing out from the rest. That's exactly what you want to hear at this stage of the offseason. On the other hand, Dante Thornton hasn't generated the same kind of buzz. While he did catch a touchdown from Geno Smith on the first day of OTAs, he hasn't been as consistently mentioned as Beck. Training camp is just around the corner, and if Beck keeps this up, he could be a major contributor from day one. Raiders fans have plenty to be excited about as the offseason progresses. In other big news, the Raiders have locked in one of the NFL's best specialists. According to Jordan Schultz, Las Vegas has signed A.J. Cole to a 4-year, $15.8 million contract extension with $11 million guaranteed. That deal makes Cole the highest-paid punter in the league. Cole is a 2-time first-team All-Pro and a key part of the Raiders' special team success. Retaining him ensures stability in the kicking game, an often overlooked but critical piece of any contending team. After the Raiders signed punter A.J. Cole to a 4-year, $15.8 million contract extension, some fans question the value of paying nearly $4 million per year to a punter. But let's break down why this deal actually makes a lot of sense. First, it's important to understand how much impact a top-tier punter can have on a football game. Great punters consistently flip field position, forcing opposing offenses to start deep in their own territory. That may not sound like a big deal, but it adds up over the course of a game and a season. Look back at the Super Bowl between the Eagles and Chiefs. One key factor early in that game was the Eagles' ability to pin the Chiefs inside their 20-yard line. That forced Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City offense to go long distances just to reach field goal range. Those extra yards matter, especially in close games. That's exactly what A.J. Cole brings to the Raiders: elite ball placement, hang time, and accuracy. He consistently pins opponents inside the 20-yard line, giving the defense a huge advantage. That field position can be the difference between giving up a touchdown or forcing a punt. People often overlook how valuable that is. When your offense stalls at the 30-yard line and your punter can back the other team up to their 15 or even their 10, that's a massive swing. If your punter misses and the other team starts at the 40, you've basically handed them 3 points. In 2024, the Raiders didn't always have that advantage. If the offense went 3 and out, poor punts often gave opposing teams great field position. That put more pressure on the defense and made it harder to win games. This upcoming season could be different. The Raiders' offense looks much improved, and if the defense continues to develop, a punter like A.J. Cole becomes even more valuable. He gives the team the chance to dominate the field position battle every week. And for those wondering about the cost, yes, Cole is now the highest-paid punter in the NFL, but he's also one of the best in the league. His accuracy, power, and ability to flip the field are worth every penny if the Raiders are serious about winning. Historically, the Raiders have had some legendary punters. Shane Lechler is often regarded as one of the best ever. While it's tough to say if Cole will reach that level, he's certainly building an impressive legacy in silver and black. The Raiders have had some great punters over the years: Shane Lechler and Ray Guy, both considered among the best ever. Ray Guy, in fact, is often called the greatest punter in NFL history. Now, A.J. Cole is on track to join that elite group. He's already playing at a high level and could finish his career as one of the best in Raiders history. With the salary cap rising each year, locking in a player like Cole, who consistently flips field position, is a smart investment. His punts will give the defense more chances to create 3 and outs and set the offense up with great field position. For example, a good punt followed by a defensive stop could leave the offense starting near midfield. That's the kind of hidden yardage that wins games. But it's not just A.J. Cole that's turning heads. ESPN recently released a list of predictions and named the Las Vegas Raiders as one of the most improved teams in the NFL. The article, written by Benjamin Solak, noted that the Raiders could finish around a .500 record, and possibly better. That's a big deal. National media rarely gives the Raiders any credit, so being highlighted as one of the league's most improved teams shows real progress. Solak pointed out that the Raiders have upgraded at quarterback, moving from Aiden O'Connell to Gardner Minshew, and possibly to Geno Smith. That's a major improvement. On top of that, they've added key offensive weapons like Brock Bowers and Ashton Genty, both of whom have star potential. Other players getting early buzz include wide receiver Jack Beck, who's been impressive in workouts. Michael Mayer, last year's top tight end prospect, is still developing, and Trey Tucker has shown explosive speed as a playmaker. Sincere McCormick could also step up as a solid backup running back. Behind all of these improvements is general manager JohnSpytek, who's helping build a roster focused on long-term success, not just quick wins. That's a major shift from the previous regime under Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler. Back then, the Raiders took a short-term approach, trading for stars like Devontae Adams and signing big contracts like Chandler Jones. Moves like that are high risk, high reward, but they rarely work long-term. You can see similar struggles in teams like the Saints or Cowboys, who pushed their chips in and are now stuck with cap problems and aging rosters. In contrast, today's Raiders are building a foundation. They're adding young talent, improving across every position group, and aiming for sustainable success. If things keep trending upward, this could be the start of something special in Las Vegas. It's a big deal that ESPN named the Raiders one of the most improved teams in the NFL. But to fully appreciate that, you have to look at the bigger picture. General manager JohnSpytek has put this team on a strong long-term path, one that looks very different from where the Raiders were just a couple of years ago. You also have to give some credit to Tom Telesco, who was involved in last year's draft. That draft brought in what could be 3 cornerstone players: Michael Mayer, who's one of the best young tight ends in the league; Joe Tippmann, arguably the best center in the NFL, and DJ Glaze, who still has the potential to become the team's franchise left tackle. If Glaze lives up to that potential, it would mean 3 long-term starters from a single draft class. That's massive. SpyTech has taken that foundation and built on it with smart additions. Ashton Jeanty is a dynamic running back who should make an impact early. Jack Beck is turning heads with strong reports out of camp. Even Darian Porter, a name many fans might not know, is getting first-team reps at OTAs. That's significant. He's got the speed, 4.3 range, size, 6 feet 3 inches, and athleticism that teams look for. The fact that the coaching staff is giving him those chances shows they believe he could contribute, maybe sooner than expected. And then there's the Geno Smith trade. It's a much smarter deal than the one the Raiders made for Davante Adams a few years ago. For Adams, they gave up a first and second round pick and paid top dollar. For Geno, it was just a third round pick. And his contract is much more team-friendly at an average of $37.5 million per year. That's solid value for a veteran quarterback who can help the Raiders win now. JohnSpytek is making the kind of calculated moves that lead to sustainable success. And for once, it's not just Raiders fans who see it. The national media is starting to recognize it too. ESPN acknowledging the Raiders' improvement shows that people outside the fan base are taking this team seriously. Of course, being a great team on paper is just the first step. The Raiders still have to go out there and prove it on the field. But for now, they're finally headed in the right direction, with a front office that's making all the right moves.